So let that set the scene going into this best of 3, as in the bottom left-hand corner, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. On the top right-hand side, our red Protoss player is going to be ShoWTimE. You love Clem ShoWTimE. Remember a draw they had in Austin? Yeah, they had a... Was it a draw? It was a draw in Valencia as well, right? They've had some good matches over the times. Obviously, Clem really elevated himself to that next level. I always felt like ShoWTimE could compete with Clem. Like I say, to me, I'm shocked ShoWTimE's lost so many times in a row. It's been that long since he's beaten Clem. To me, that is very surprising, because I think ShoWTimE has honestly been always one of the guys that really can step up and take Clem on and challenge him and play some longer games if needed and do well there. As the probe drops a Nexus down, just going to get that into position. The the orbital command. Marine continuing through. Cybercore going to go in down on the corner. And we'll just see the Nexus still building here from ShoWTimE as well. So again, all of that up and rolling for the next few moments. And away we go. Again, probe going to come moving through for a couple of seconds as we have the Nexus dropping into place, getting that underway. I'm expecting an opening here. That's probably going to be ShoWTimE playing a little bit of defense and Clem poking about a little bit and trying to find some openings. I mean, that's the typical Clem ShoWTimE style, right? Clem's the aggressor, ShoWTimE is the defender. Those are the roles that these two naturally fill when they play, just in general, never mind against each other. As this Marine just sits back at home from Clem, so going no, Reaper is not looking for a scout here early. ShoWTimE will be looking for an early scout, has the sentry already about to finish, so you'll have hallucinations available right from the very start of this game, and we'll be able to start utilizing those in those early stages as well. As that probe just builds up on the Nexus, and the starport and the orbital continue to come over, it wouldn't mind an extra Marines coming about as well. As that probe popping, and just have ourselves the hallucination scouting on the other side, going to get turned around by Marines. And like I say, Clem is completely blind right now, so he does not see anything. I mean, a lot of the time nowadays, you're assuming a blink opener. And that's pretty much going to be the case here as well, where Clem kind of assumes that this is going to be blink. And by assuming that this is going to be blink, he's going to be correct, and he's not going to get punished for just Widowmine Marine dropping across the map, because his drop will arrive before blink is ready. So he will just get across there and be able to put some pressure on. Blink is halfway done. Just going to have our starport lifting off, going to relocate to a tech lab, and the medevac already beginning to boost out onto the maps. Just actually the double Widowmine drops. 2 Widowmines across the map. Like I say, no Phoenix or anything to shut those down completely. As the hallucination scouts in, we'll see the tech lab now on the starport. Can assume a Raven, and can assume probably with the timing of it all, there was already something popped out of that starport as well, and so preparations at home should begin again. ShoWTimE, one of the better defensive Protoss players, and should not really be caught off guard by a typical just 2 Widowmine drop initially. So in we go, as our Widowmine sets up. Second Widowmine burrows. Goes with that first Widowmine, first probe very quickly. The second Widowmine will fire. I mean, the good news is because the first Widowmine was so quick to shoot, the second Widowmine firing really does kind of get abandoned. So at least you get one of those Widowmines, but obviously you'd always like to just make this to, not be a factor anymore, and already kind of just wash your hands with this medevac drop. Instead, now it sits there lingering on the edge of your base and threatening the idea of moving forward. Stimpack and +1 both building up for Clem. Marauder, Marines, and SCVs. Refinery also building up on the side of Clem. So, yeah, just upgrades all coming through here. Clem getting going. With that robe base starting from ShoWTimE and the charge upgrade coming through. He's his next steps coming in without too many surprises here initially. And that reactor still building up on the starport. So we get that all moving on through. A couple stalkers going to hang about. We do have our Forge and our Rover Bay continuing to come online. The Observer obviously going to be some good vision creating. Clem boosts the medevac. It's an interesting choice. Boosts the medevac, doesn't actually do much else with it just yet. As against impact, combat shield, and +1, all continue to come out here. The stalkers gather up at the front. The stalkers now going to come across, and the Raven going to take a couple of hits. Probe will go down. It's going to be seeing the auto turret getting cleaned out, and now we have ourselves the other few stalkers still sitting out towards the center. Bioforce coming over, just gathering together against impact combat shield. +1 attack. All finishing very soon as our bio units take a step forward. Stalkers are going to get turned the other way. 5 additional gateways coming up now from ShoWTimE. So we get all of that started. The bio trying to come around. The stalkers have to blink once again. Blinking back for the moment. The bio still trying to get there. Stalkers still being chased. As we go back and forth again, +1 attack. Extended thermal lance coming now. Concussive shells building on the side of Clem. There's the Colossus that gets warped in too. Stalkers come back the other way. Everything is gathering as our medevacs pull back from the top. Marine tank gonna regather back to the middle. Still got this medevac. He keeps boosting it. I wonder if there's just the fear that's spun in. He's boosted that multiple times, right? Like, it keeps happening. I wonder if it's just like it tries to catch ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE sees the boost and then he has to be super worried about it for a moment. I don't know. I might just ask Clem, to be honest. This interests me. A couple of Wooded Mines trying to line up, but he actually has to kite away from those mines. Good force field's going to trap a bunch of the units as well. ShoWTimE has access to get rid of the siege tanks here. The Wooded Mine's gone down as well after firing. They will not get a fire again, and 2 Colossus living through this. Now about to have their extended thermal lance. Their upgrade going to go a long way to keep them so much safer in the future. As we actually see ShoWTimE stepping forward right here. A lot of these units not healed up, and they get hurt even further by choosing to stim to get the heck away because they're caught off guard by that army movement of ShoWTimE. And ShoWTimE winning a couple of duels right there. And that's a great start. Back at home, Clem just burrowing up Wooded Mines defensively. More importantly, though, Vikings and Ghosts on the way out. So getting into all of the tech units, which are likely going to help him in these later stages. Vikings needed against the Colossus. Ghosts needed against everything. They are just great units to have in TvP, obviously. And he is sacrificing 2-2 upgrades immediately, potentially, to kind of do this, right? His armory's a little bit later than it maybe could have been. And that's just the investment of a Ghost Academy. Vikings and Ghosts all coming out. It's not cheap. Usually you can't afford to go into 2-2 at the same time as that straight away. So it is kind of that kind of choice to cut the 2-2 a little bit and to kind of delay that armory somewhat, purposefully a lot of the time. To then say, okay, right, let's delay 2-2 a little, and then we can get the tech up, and then we can get the upgrades going again. You can see Clem's not struggled, even though the armory's still not done. You might just say, well, is that not a late armory? Not really, because he's absolutely been able to spend the gas until now. So if the armory was any earlier, he would have had to sacrifice tech to be able to afford the 2-2 upgrades instead. So I absolutely think that Clem knows what's up here, and I think he knows what he's doing in terms of those build timings. His Sensor Tower set up as well. Natural and third base are very ready to just say, okay, I can play defense too. I can sit back and let you try and do the things and just handle those and to develop this game into a much better spot for myself. And he will absolutely try and take on that challenge if he feels he needs to. I mean, Clem is already having a 4th CC finishing, so it will be about moving that into position and obviously taking his army into a position where that 4th base can become applicable as well. Medevac will, what's he sitting there? It's an F2 boost, do you think? Maybe it is. I was trying to check the cooldown of the other medevacs at the same time. Maybe I'll go back and look at it before I ask him. Maybe it's just an F2 boost. Next time that he boosts, I'm gonna go and see if this medevac also boosted. It's just weird to have that medevac hotkeyed with other medevacs, because then you're likely just going to mess up and pull it in the wrong place, you know? I wouldn't be surprised if this medevac wasn't hotkeyed at all for Clem right now, and that's just going to be a manual control when he decides to use it. Which is, you know, obviously then I could understand F2. Everything else, though, probably not. That was not a good disruptor shot as ShoWTimE blows up his own zealots in the front line. That's not going to help you. Now the Vikings taking some shots off the Stalkers. Clem's still trying to press down this ramp, and of course pressing down the ramp is not going to be easily done. Medevac lingers out to that right-hand side. Two Dark Shrines on the way from ShoWTimE, so I think he's getting a little bit caught up in the moment. Realizes it cancels one though, and so yeah, just realizing the mistake. ShoWTimE needs to try and get back on track here. Currently, Stalker's going to be there. Command Center taking some shots, going to get cancelled already. Going to scan out. Just going to see a couple of disruptor shots going through as well. Still trying to also get involved here currently. I mean, Widowmine's going to try and help out too. Hey, the Widowmine drop came in. He's going to go for a single probe. So one probe going down off said Widowmine drop. And they continue downwards. Missile turret going to take a couple of shots. The disruptor shot is good for 2 Widowmines. Another disruptor shot not quite going to make it. The Zealots are going to charge on up. The extended thermal lands those Colossus, putting some work in. Disruptor shots coming through as well. The Bio's still going across. The EMP is going down. Zealot Stalker's getting, or Zealots and Sentry's getting hit. The Stalker's coming over as well. Trying to jump on top of those medevacs again. Yeah, another warp in the Stalkers is now come down this left-hand side. Missile turret gonna get shot at. A couple of Zealots getting jumped on. Disruptor shot gonna go in between everything. Trying to keep this pressure up, and of course, Clem. The danger right now is that ShoWTimE's right on his front door. If you mess up against Disruptor Shot, ShoWTimE's going to continue through. He's going to jump your reinforcements. He's going to make life very, very difficult for you. So there's not really a lot of room for error right now because of the position that ShoWTimE's in. Same can be said for ShoWTimE. You mess up one moment, you don't get the Disruptor Shots off, and Clem can collapse on you full force because his entire army will have been reinforced over the last few moments. There's not going to be a save because it's like, well, it's my side of the map. He doesn't really have a great warping point here either. Just the Prism, which could get shot down before too much aid comes about. Again, Zarana Disruptors are beginning to connect for the moment. Another Disruptor shot fires across. +3 armor, +1 shields coming through. Have that bio unit still sitting around there. The Vikings getting shot. The Stalker's going to go after said Vikings. Bio going to find a disruptor, and again, a couple of disruptor shots coming around the sides. 6 more Zealots getting warped in. Once again, the Shadow Stride and +3 armor comes online. Go again, a couple of disruptor shots firing through. The Zealot's going to be there. Bio just got the back, so just going to lift off and relocate a little bit. I mean, again, ShoWTimE showing us the benefits of pushing yourself into this position between the bases and holding this position for so long. Disruptor goes down though, and this is the scary part. You start losing tech units, everything goes wrong. That Disruptor dies as well. The losses now starting to fall to the Vikings. I can't help but feel that this is about to turn into Clem's favor. The Zealot numbers are still good, but now you just have to kite those, right? Like, there's an answer for Clem here in terms of what you do next, and at first that's just kiting backwards, let the Zealots keep running into you. But, you know, once the splash damage is gone, it becomes so much easier for Clem to just navigate these fights and to find good ways around the engagements that are being forced upon him or what he is feeling forced to take. During all of this, ShoWTimE is becoming steadily richer. 4,000 minerals banked up currently. Full ton of gas in the bank as well. +3 ship weapons coming through. The bio going to get there. Observer goes down, I believe, or his nation does at least. Just going to see the main Protoss army. He's actually going to jump on Clem, who's a little bit drawn out here. Uses the Disruptor to force the main force away to the left side a bit further. Loses the Prism ShoWTimE, but I kind of like the jump. Like I say, you zone the main chunk units out to the left. You jump on the units that are kind of lagging behind. Going to re-engage here right now as the Zealots are going to go for this. They're going to chase straight through, and they do enough Disruptor shot to help to disengage, as we do end up turning and running that as ShoWTimE. But he takes a supply lead in this game, and again, that's Clem, who has not got a bank of money. He's just working with whatever resource he can find per minute at the moment off the mining that he holds. Stalkers will get here. Command center will go down. Still got the 2 Colossus building as well. Add a shields upgrade to that also. And a Bio Viking force will continue to move across. Medevac still also on a move right now as well. Here's our Zealot Stalker Disruptor Colossus force coming about around the left-hand side. Just going to walk into this natural Clem, and again, this is great because you can zone the reinforcements potentially, and at the same time, Clem has got to drop to the top side, EMPing this base to stop the potential recall, so already ahead of the possibilities of his opponent handling this. Getting up the ramp, and it's already walled off. It's going to be difficult as the bio turns back around. Stalkers, Colossus, Disruptors all going to be there. Another couple of Disruptor shots coming through. Bio getting hit big time. Medevac's going to begin to heal up. The Zealots are still chasing forward. Stalkers and the Colossus are too going to be there as well. Next is about to complete the +3 ship weapons. Building on the armory on the bottom side. Our Stalkers and the DTs together. Going to be there to hit the planetary fortress also. Medevacs load up. They're going to peel down to that bottom right-hand side. Still a lot of units on the left here from ShoWTimE making their way across. So it's stepping through. Vikings going to get there. Colossus going to take a bunch of damage. Vikings doing their job. I mean, Clem is he winning out on the ground? Stalkers, if they get over, honestly, Stalker damage might help a lot against the few bio units that are remaining currently. ShoWTimE is again going to end up backing off, but with a 40 supply lead. It's in again now. Vikings still in the sky. Medevacs and bio units joining up together. The rest of this army moves out around the left. Going to see our Zealots charging through for a few SCVs. Another Disruptor shot coming in. The Bioforce coming back onto the Stalkers here. Clem is continuing to struggle as ShoWTimE just says, cool, I can find my way in toward another base. He's never going to kill the planetary here though, but you can always blink away should trouble become a bit too much. Oh, ShoWTimE, the second time in this game where Disruptor has killed many Zealots completely unnecessarily. Shots going around everywhere. The Vikings going to try for that Colossus. Colossus is going to go down. The Zealots chasing the Marauders. The rest of the bio on the left-hand side coming across as well. The Stalker's getting underneath. The Medevac's still getting hunted down. The Zealots are going to go jumping onto the mineral line, and SCVs are going to fall, but the Disruptor's reinforcing now, showing up and forcing a bunch of these units away. Unfortunately, a few Zealots of ShoWTimE getting caught up in amongst this. He's still pushing the right side. He's finally going to break through this planetary fortress, and Clem has to say GG. ShoWTimE takes his first game over Clem, and we game number 2. King's Cove, big map. Could be a big game. As we have to the top left, our red Protoss player, this is ShoWTimE. He's leading this series 1-0. In the best of 3. Bottom right, our blue Terran from Team Liquid. It is Clem. Game 2. Going into King's Cove. See what the plan will become here as you get this one up and rolling. So happy to see you streaming on YouTube. Now you can finally watch SC2 again. Yeah, we've been streaming on YouTube for a while. Pretty much everything since like October last year. I think we've streamed everything since October last year on YouTube. We've not. We had one day we had to turn the YouTube stream off because I had to go up to my backup internet and it couldn't handle Twitch and YouTube. But yeah, we stream on both nowadays. So if you prefer YouTube, you can watch over there as well. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure you leave a YouTube sub. Love to try and hit 50,000 YouTube subscribers this year. So it's a little bit of a challenge. Definitely something we're probably gonna have to push for a little bit, but I think very doable. So yeah, enjoying the YouTube stream over there. Hit like, hit subscribe, helps us out a bunch. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. I've just been following this probe, but not really much else going on just yet. It's about to change with the Reaper arriving. We will see the first probe start to take some damage. Moves about again, just going to be seeing a couple Reapers and a Hellion coming through. The Reaper is going to be there, hitting this probe, taking that probe down. That probe will fall. A Stalker and Warp Gate and probes and battery all built on the side of ShoWTimE as well, so continue bringing that through. Reaper continues to sit in the center. Reapers, the Hellion continue to come stepping across. Just going to see the Adept and the Stalker going to be there. Reaper going to take a few hits. Reapers and Hellions going to punch to the front. The Adept will take some damage. Stalker going to get rid of 2 Reapers already. Good defense so far from ShoWTimE. Let's see if we can minimize the worker losses. I think we get rid of 1 Hellion right now. And this is going to be what, like 4 workers max? Yeah, 3 workers. This seems okay to me. You don't lose any units otherwise. You know, it's not like you lost units and then lost 4 probes on top of it overall in the game. 2 Hellions and 3 Reapers is not, nothing. It is an early game investment. Those are your early units and gas spent from Clem, so I kind of like it for ShoWTimE. Like, yes, some lost workers, but also minimize lost mine time. He didn't pull an entire mineral line away from mining to protect this, which I think says a lot as well, right? Being able to mine with everything apart from those 3 or 4 probes that you pulled means that it's a lot less damage taken than what you sometimes see in these scenarios as well. This nation just gonna fly straight into the main base. Each tank popping out and medevac boosting as well. It's gonna be 2 tanks, Ripper Marines, and that is gonna be the opportunity for Clem to push across the map. ShoWTimE knows about it. Seeing that medevac lifting up the siege tank as well, so knows exactly what's coming his way. And with that information, ShoWTimE, hopefully, yeah, is gonna make some good choices. As the medevac goes overhead, the Marine tank comes on the ground. Heading to the top left here for the moment. Still pulling back. I'm just going to get rid of 1 Stalker straight away. Sentry taking damage 2. A couple of shots coming about right away there. Now I'm just going to be getting those tanks still moving up to the high ground. Marines and the Viking together. Going to hit this Nexus. Going to start hitting that pylon. Tanks will continue to siege. Pylon does indeed go down. ShoWTimE pops the Guardian Shield and will start to work his way forward into this. Difficult to reach the Immortals. The Siege Tanks though. The Immortal will go down. Stalkers blink through for the Siege Tanks, but quite late. I mean, they can continue to go for some Marines. We'll blink again. Got about, what, 8 Marines, a Viking left over, and then the reinforcing the siege tank is going to be a whole new problem. So now you have to go through the same thing again to try and knock this tank down a second time. The Stalker's stopping some reinforcements is nice, but yeah, we just got to go right now. We are right-clicked onto the Nexus. ShoWTimE will force Clem to give up everything to get this Nexus kill. Obviously loses a few more units trying to play the cleanup game though, so not exactly super simple. As the Viking will go down, the Marine will go down. And in fact, boosting through the top. Again, another Immortal coming over. The Observer still coming over. Sentry's coming through as well. They get gathered in between the bases. Fire gathers because of Charles' charge continue to come up as well. I'm just coming across the map with his next round of units, and that's going to be tough one for ShoWTimE. I feel like he lost a lot trying to defend a third base that did not survive. Double expanding here may save the high ground base, but the fourth is obviously in trouble as Clem turns his attention straight to it. And I mean, you can't actually come down because of the force field that you yourself have put in place now as well. Clem will keep pushing up, and he's going to get one Immortal, he's going to get a Sentry, a Stalker, Battery is going to finish. Maybe Clem does have to turn around, but like I said, I think ShoWTimE's already done a lot. ShoWTimE might be saved by the map, and the fact that obviously reinforcement distance here on King's Cove is quite long, but we lose another Immortal, so I'm trying to somewhat defend ShoWTimE's position every moment that passes by. Makes me seem more and more silly for trying to do so. More bio gathers, medevacs, one of mine's joined up as well. Both medevacs are going to load up and they're going to go boost over to that left hand side. Across they go, ready to go into the natural in a few moments. Stalker's playing straight underneath. This doesn't have the numbers, right? I mean, losing Stalkers after this unit, or these units start to drop off is obviously not ideal. GG's. And we are going to be... I hear Clem ShoWTimE, or I see Clem ShoWTimE in a bracket, that's a series I'm always going to try and get into, because I just always think it's so good. And so far, not really been wrong. As in the bottom left, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid is Clem. He takes on the red Protoss. In the bottom right corner of the map, we have ShoWTimE. Game 3 of the best of 3. Getting the Simulator coming through, racks and the gas coming online. Refinery about to finish up, just maybe seeing the probe coming down the low ground for a few moments, coming across. Probe just comes back through again, Orbital Reaper coming up, Cybercore's on the way in. Got settled for a couple of moments. Factory drops it down into place. Get that started up. Yeah, Ripper coming through. Factory on the way out. Probe coming over here from ShoWTimE, moving about a little bit as well currently as we just settle down for these next few moments. Comes across, jumps into the assimilator. The Reaper of Clem is going to stay on the move as well. And just going to patrol out the front as the Factory and the Reaper continue into play. Command Center SCV in production. Starport building from ShoWTimE. Sorry, Stargate building from ShoWTimE. And that is a switch up going to Stargate, which is definitely seen as the less popular choice at the moment in terms of how we build and how we open and so on. Two Reapers together from Clem. We'll see if they can find much here. Probe coming back over. Stargate is about to finish from ShoWTimE. Again, just going to be having our units coming back around as the probe comes over. The Reaper's going to be there. Jump onto that probe immediately. Hellion joins up. Honestly, two Adepts do a lot of damage right away when these Reapers try and get in. Drop a grenade in an attempt to blast the Adepts out of the way a little bit. Not quite happening. The Adept's going to shade back after the Reapers. We're going to get one Reaper. It's important to get rid of the Hellion because obviously the splash damage that provides is huge. 3 workers go down, which is probably not bad for 2 Reapers and a Hellion. The Adepts all pull back, and you get all the way in for the Scout. So you see the Stargate, you now know it's Phoenix production, that's not going to be hidden from you. There's no point in ShoWTimE, hanging back with that and just waiting for the Widow Mine drop to arrive, because now Clem won't send the Widow Mine drop across the map. So that is definitely a factor as well. One shot is good to hit the Adept at the front. A couple of Marines going to hit that Phoenix also. Cyclone popping out again. There go the Adepts heading through toward the center of the map for a moment or so. The Bio Marines and a Cyclone coming around the left side. The Cyclone going to lock on. The Phoenix going to take a few shots. So Phoenix taking some damage. Medevac already. The Marines and the Cyclone already helping out with that as well. Just going to have the Phoenix and the Adept still making their way down to the bottom right. Portal just Chrono boosting off the Robo facility, and again, that is a pylon probe all gathering up currently. The Mortal and the Phoenix continue to come around, and again, the Gateway coming up as we speak. All the probes still coming in. I mean, ShoWTimE is getting ready to drop that third base down. We'll see what happens with that as that Nexus drops straight into position. Viking Marines and the Siege Tank all on the way up as well, having the Adept hold out in the center of the map also. On that watchtower, keeping an eye on anything that might be moving nearby. The Phoenix will gather, and the Phoenix will advance across to the left-hand side. Away they go. So scary, because, well, I was thinking about the Cyclone down, but actually came in, lifted the Cyclone. Pretty good retreat, honestly, from ShoWTimE. Lifted the Cyclone. Got a Viking or so, and actually gets out of there without losing the Phoenix. Yeah, has to pull back one more time to deal with the Cyclone again, but some hurt Phoenix, sure, but actually gets out of there without issue. Now the Observer going to spot the rest of the army coming this way. ShoWTimE's, base is on the bottom side of the map. Clem is pushing the top. So that gets a little bit interesting as the Phoenix are going to come through again. Gets another Viking, gets the Cyclone, loses one Phoenix, however. Now going to aim for the Medevac, which will be low. No SCVs with this shove. So no repairs available as ShoWTimE realizes Clem really is committed to the top portion of the map, pushing into the natural here perhaps. And Medevac still low, remember, as the Colossus on the way out. Chrono boosting at the moment, not ready yet. Couple of force fields to help us out here. Going to push forward again, utilizing the Phoenix with the battery to help. Does just lose that Phoenix anyway, so wasted a bit of battery energy for Phoenix that does not survive. ShoWTimE having to figure out this critical breakout. You don't break out of this right here, and the series is over for you. You're going to have the Colossus, which is going to help a lot against the Marines. The Marines melting. Now stepping forward with everything else. We can lift up the Siege Tank. They are going to just drop. Tell you what, the Phoenix, though, are dying very quickly as well. Got to be careful at the end of this, because remember, the Colossus is not exactly a fan of seeing the Vikings either. As ShoWTimE pushes Clem away. Twilight Council and Forge continue to come online. Stimpack and +1 coming up from Clem too. Marines and a Viking still being added. The Stalkers will be there, pushing the Vikings again back to the center of the map for a few more moments. Continue to gather in. The third command center will begin to build. Dog's gonna get one Viking again. The rest of these just go back and forth. Clem is gonna get siege with the 2 tanks here again. Upgrades continuing through. We actually see Stimpack finish now as well. Now that Robo, it's not powered by anything else, is that one pylon going down is going to stop the Robo production. Yeah, that's a real shame. Slowing down the Robo facility is going to be critical. Any units out of there would have obviously continued to help ShoWTimE in a big way. We'll repower it, just obviously slow it down by a significant period. 20 seconds is a lot when you kind of fighting for your life. I mean, 3rd base mining comfortably, 4th base on the way up on the gold base. ShoWTimE is taking advantage of Clem being on the top side of the map and focusing here. WardiTV's going to get lifted up, and yeah, Phoenix absolutely doing that thing as well. There's not a lot of them left, but they get a couple of Widow Mines, slow down some of that tech and splash damage adding up from your opponent. I mean, one of the better things you can do with the Phoenix right now, I reckon, is something along the lines of that. This is not so pretty, but then again, we're going to fight this Terran army. Has Clem got the jump on this? Does he have a Phoenix left? Yes, he does. The Medivac with the 2 siege tanks inside of it goes down. And ShoWTimE getting a grab on this army towards his own gold base initially. We are going to see the Zealot Stalker Colossus coming back over. +1 attack coming up. It's going to be seeing the armor upgrade coming through. Marine Marauder, Medivac, Widow Mine still coming about. As the army of Clem pulls back over now. Toward the left-hand side a little bit. Ghost Academy coming up about halfway done. The rest of the Zealots coming over. Phoenix going to be there hitting the Medivac. ShoWTimE might lose his last Phoenix now as, again, playing the bottom side of this map is going to be well set up. Why aren't those probes transferring to the left side minerals? Kind of weird, no? Finally they are, but took them a little while to decide to make that move across. Observers will go down, so both of those will fall. +2 and Blink still on the way up from ShoWTimE. A couple Vikings, Marine, and the armor upgrade coming up as we speak as well. Let's Stalker Colossus Archon gathering in as the army comes through the middle, and just going to be pushing upwards and across to the left-hand side once again. Those couple of Widow Mines still burrowed on the high ground here. Push to the left. Widow Mines are going to do their thing though, connecting nicely so far. The Vikings trying to fight against this Colossus force. Lifting up a couple times in the prism would be nice, but we actually did not save that Colossus. We lifted it the first time, didn't re-lift it, or keep it lift despite it being low and the Vikings still being there. So a bit of the splash damage from ShoWTimE lost already. Now we have +2 attack. Blink in the disruptive production coming by also. I'm going to boost to the bottom, but it's going to go through an observer, so ShoWTimE sees this. Instant recall to the 6 o'clock. That actually pulled back though. He's actually going to go a different route with this, but the units are already down on that bottom side. ShoWTimE mining the minerals in the center gives him passageway from top to bottom, which with the mobility of Clem's army is probably much better for ShoWTimE to have that central area opened out now than it is for Clem. I don't think Clem's going to be moving around on the ground as much as ShoWTimE is having to go back to a base to defend from drops and then relocating back through the middle of the map, for example. There is a little push of Clem though, setting up as the Zealot Stalker Archon gather together. Zealots on that natural going to lift back into the prism. Some crazy APM from these guys, my goodness, 700 or so, averaging 400 plus APM each. I don't usually mention APM, but like, it's actually a little bit on the higher scale, that is. As we come through, we play cleanup. Prism around now, the top left-hand side, Bio coming forward, Ghost setting up. Then gates coming through, the Dark Shrine coming in online, the Disruptors are still building, +3, +1. Continues to build for now. That's going across, a couple of SCVs a couple of pros going down. SCV's going to get chased a little bit. Viking overhead. And just going to be seeing the rest of this army from Clem coming down the bottom. Couple of Zealots and jumped on. EMPs come down. Stalkers getting hit. Disruptors as well. SCV, 7 probes. ShoWTimE obviously looking now to defend on the bottom side. As he does have some good stack defense here, but stack defense only goes so far. There's a massive Terran army. Okay, well, maybe ShoWTimE looks to the top right base as a 5th now. He does have this base up as a 4th. This gold will go down. Mind from it for a little bit, just doesn't see it worth the trouble of its positioning at the moment to continue defending any further. As Disruptors, Zealots, Colossus, Stalkers continue to come through. Just going to come across. Bio going to get the pylon. And Shadow Strike coming about. +3 attack on the Forge coming up as well. Just going to be having another Disruptor shot flying for just the Marine. Actually, the Marauder goes low but doesn't die. Better Disruptor shot, getting a couple more units, chipping away at those Marauders' HP as well. Make them an easier target, given a little bit of additional time. Continues to pull through the top. Zealot, Sword, Colossus, Disruptor gathers up around the bottom, and there's a Nexus dropping onto the gold base, top right side. Position setting up as well. Take a few steps forward. And 3/3 upgrades coming through. The double Nexus, the double Colossus continues to build into play right now. Continue to move about. Oh! Oh! Huge Disruptor shot into the center. Clem eats that one, and those are good few Marines that went down there. He has to reproduce those pretty much immediately. Protoss army still coming through the top. Well, shots come through. Stalker gets grabbed as Zealots would like to start coming through here as well. The Vikings sitting overhead as Clem going to try and step forward. There is a Colossus taking some heavy damage. Disruptor shot comes down this ramp, hits the Zealot as we go. Stalkers are getting rid of some Vikings as we speak. Again, 4 Liberators coming up, 3/3 upgrades coming through, +2 ship weapons starting as well. Advanced Ballistics are part of these upgrades here currently. DT's just going to try and help to take down this Planetary. This was not an immediate kind of a lot of damage being done. The DT's not blinking in there. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE though fighting towards the center. Colossus are dropping a little bit lower. The Disruptors are very far north. He's going to lose one without them connecting. The second one at least will go off. Both players are losing a lot of supply. I'm a little worried that ShoWTimE is starting to lose a lot of his tech. All the Disruptors seemingly being hunted down, and the Colossus would be a close follow-up there, but we get out with 2 Disruptors, 3 Colossus in total, I believe, because there's one in that Prism on low HP that's regenerating shields. Down. We'll just gather. Again, +2 ship weapons, 3/3 upgrades still coming across. The army of ShoWTimE pushes through to the middle of the map. Orbital lifts off. Observer going to be there to spot that orbital lifting away. The Zealots coming down. Stalkers moving about. Couple Disruptors coming through as well. Colossus firing straight onto that orbital. On the bottom side, we EMP and we take down this Nexus, so that's just going to fall. ShoWTimE's been trying to get this one up for a long time. And it's going to be denied for. I think it's the second time it's going to get killed in this game now. 2 ship weapons about to finish. Bio Ghost Medevac going to take some steps across. Probe's immediately in trouble. As we're going to see 5 workers going down. I mean, this army just not being dealt with at all. Clem on the other side of the map has continued to do very well for himself. Couple snipes on incoming Zealots. I mean, Colossus shows up defensively. That lasts 0 time. Good EMPs. Gets rid of these Zealots as well. This is just not being stopped. ShoWTimE has issues. Both players have a ton of money. As ShoWTimE loses some supply, maybe you can get a proper round of reinforcements there. One Colossus over here goes down as well. I feel like ShoWTimE's army is getting worse and worse. Gold base goes down. Bottom side, 3rd base goes down. ShoWTimE being chased through the top. This is where Disruptor should excel at least a little, right? Through a narrow gap being chased. Libera is getting hits off instead, though. Continue back and forth. 5 additional zealots coming up. ShoWTimE can still stay maxed out, but I wouldn't say he's been winning any of the recent fights. I feel like he's been struggling a little here. Shots come through. Stalker's aiming after those medevacs. Bio Liberator setting up. So Liberator siege across the bottom. Zealot Stalker going to get hit big time. Colossus getting back down into the center here with the watchtower, and now I'm going to try to come back through the top. It's another round of Liberators. That's the issue, right? ShoWTimE is not rich enough to make the switch to Tempest. Not in a game like this where now it seems to be constant action, and so the Liberators are a major issue. Hard to really stop this at all. Shot fires will not land the rest of the army from ShoWTimE through the top. Going to relocate a little bit. Stalker's get underneath. The Liberator goes down. Extra Lib sieging. 3 DTs continue to warp in. Couple of Colossus. We do have our +3 armor upgrade. Researching a Zealot Destructor Force now. Sorry, Zealot Dark Temple Force into the main base of Clem. I like this from ShoWTimE. Take some of the attention away from the main armies and also maybe stop Clem from reinforcing. If you do get an okayish fight where you can at least clean up some units, it's going to make Clem's reinforcements so much harder to come by as the Zealot DT swipes its way through production. ShoWTimE pushing to the front. There's the Liberator Siege, though. That will stop that attempt of an attack. She's killing a lot of depots here as well. Starport actually straight up just died right now. We have EMPs for the DTs. We apparently just have to section there anyway. Maybe the missile turret was just reaching across still either way, working out as we do go for more depots. ShoWTimE's moved to the top of the map. He's actually going to get on top of a bunch of the Liberators this time. That's not really happened before. Clem has been very good about protecting those Liberators and only getting them sieged up from afar. This time around, the Stalkers do go after. We blink across. Zealot Stalker going to gather up here. Hold command going after, or again, chase down a little bit as well. Another few Liberators going to siege up. The Stalker step away once more. Fire gathers back down to the bottom as the Liberator sieges again. Those coming about. Marine Marauder coming up. Colossus Stalker on the way out as well. Look at this Nexus from ShoWTimE. It's kind of funny because, like, this should be never something that works. Clem will see it mining, so yeah. You could almost believe it could have worked. But I don't think it will in the end. Really do have just craziness kind of all over the map right here, but Clem is coming out with so much more money in the bank as well. I think Clem's going to have enough at the end of the day to close out this game number 3. ShoWTimE putting in a hell of an effort. This is why I'm surprised when I say ShoWTimE has lost the last 13 series he played against Clem, and it's been a year and a half since he had a victory. Because he can clearly fight Clem in a really cool, awesome series. It's just so difficult to pick up the final touches to actually beat Clem, right? That is the problem. That is the difficulty. ShoWTimE working through the bottom of the bio army unloading here. Clem is in an interesting place where he might be able to wrap around this. There's no good escape from ShoWTimE apart from maybe a recall. It is off cooldown, so that is a possibility. Maybe it's just something you have to go for right now as the Liberators begin to siege up. Units coming in from both sides. Probe's going down. The Colossus again jumped on. ShoWTimE doesn't recall, so he's going to fight it, but just don't think he's winning in any specific spot right now. He's definitely losing on the right side. A couple more Zealots show up from the bottom. A couple more Liberators show up as well. As the Colossus goes down, it's going to be a Zealot and Stalker fest, but I mean, they might do okay against a low amount of bio units, but this Liberator count is going to make it problematic. The only win right now is that the Liberators are quite spread out, which is maybe an issue. 3 probes have in production for ShoWTimE, but it's just not a lot. Again, his bank has been drained over the course of this game, and it does look now as though Clem is on the verge of a Game 3 victory. A few more Stalkers still going down, a couple mules drop. The Vikings come back overhead, joining with the Medevacs, Liberators, Marines, Marauders, and the Cloaking continue to come about. A couple of mules will get picked away at Bio Force coming through. Vikings gonna shoot at this. The Stalker's gonna be there. It's got a couple of the Ghosts getting hit at as well. The other Vikings coming back over. One Colossus goes down immediately. Four Libs. Marine Marauder Ghost coming about. The Cloaking coming up. Gonna dive here for the Colossus. Disruptor is not gonna last very long, I don't think. It gets away, but if it stops to fire, it's gonna die, so it's just gonna get chased. It can't stop the army from chasing it. Clem's not exactly rich on bases, right? Like, his bases that remain, I guess this gold is fairly fresh for him. I mean, that might have been an issue if the game went any longer, but he's already mined a lot. Obviously, in this case, that means just these things don't matter that much. As the fire comes over, chasing the Stalkers, chasing the Colossus. I do think we've got ourselves, I mean, a few Stalkers hitting the Planetary Fortress here as well. Fire Force coming back over, Stalkers coming about, Colossus and a couple Zealots coming through too. As you have the, I mean, yeah, scraps of ShoWTimE's army in this game, really not having much else to say or do. GG's get called, and Clem is going to take it 2-1.